Okay.
Right?
Yeah, he's on the southern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere.
That's right. Okay, opening sacred space. Please put your attention in your body. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Soften your joints. Imagine your joints as bouncy. Give them lots of lubrication. Bounce a little bit through the joints. Let them feel their vitality and their spaciousness. When your joints are soft, you can conduct energy through your body much more fluidly. And that really is what we want to experience here together, is conducting energy. It's not doing necessarily only what is planned. It's also conducting from the body. Put your awareness in your feet. If you're not speaking, please mute. Just visualize the soles of your feet. So really put your awareness into the connective tissue on the soles of your feet and allow that connective tissue to spread. It is a signaling system, and if your awareness is with it, it will receive the signals from our Blessed Mother, from the generous earth that compassionately sustains us. Allow your feet to suction around the flesh of the mother. Keep those joints soft, knees bent. Visualize under the mound of the big toe the umbilical cord that connects you to the mother, to the womb of the mother. Let her speak to you with her nutritive blessings through that site. Breathe into that, please. 3 full breaths. Fearlessly inviting the mother into this circle, into this gathering, and into your body. I want you to visualize these sites. It's too complex to try to share them with illustrations, so we're going to rely on our inner capacity to create miraculous shift through our intention, and we're going to feel it. So with your inner eye, bring your awareness alongside your ankle bones. That area speaks directly to your adrenal system. So now you have your umbilical cord pulsing directly with the mother. And now we are turning on our adrenal system. So in your mind's eye, just a general area between your ankle bone and your heel, right and left. Imagine a wheel turning and let it turn 3 times. And as it turns, breathe with each cycle. So let that wheel keep turning. Let that umbilical cord keep pulsing. And now I'm going to ask you to please bring your inner awareness to the area on your back, right where you feel your adrenals rest on the top of your kidneys. So that's the mid lower back. Again, it doesn't have to be precise, just find the field and turn it on. Turn it on with love. Send your love to that area on your lower back. The name of that area is destiny. So we are linking our intimate bond with the mother, our vitality, the potential of the human nervous system to rise into its destiny of vitality and service. So feel this, breathe into it. Bringing your hands together, the palms touching intimately, sensuously, the pads of all the fingers meeting each other lovingly. We will dedicate the merit of what we have awakened in our vital relationship with purpose and our mother. We dedicate this generously to all in need. We dedicate it to the Amazon. We dedicate it to Jamie Shadid, who has served the Amazon with such power, power even beyond what she thought was possible, and who is struggling now just as the Amazon is struggling. As the Amazon is burned out, Jamie is burned out, and her breasts, her mother self is suffering. And we as her family, as Jamie's family, just as we are the family of the Amazon, we generously dedicate our merit, our love, our vitality, whatever we have, we generously dedicate it in service to those in need. Breathing into that, feeling it in your own body, offering it. Staying present to your feelings, letting the vitality of those feelings nourish you in your offering. Allow your hands to come to where they're comfortable. Don't give up the softness of your joints, though. Keep that. And gradually open your eyes. Now we will make contact with one another in our kinship gathering. I'm going to turn it over to Rob to welcome us.
So, welcome everybody. Wonderful to see you all. We are with quite a crowd. Of course, that's wonderful. And we are today on an amazing quest to look into the possibilities of protecting one of the great natural places of the world and make it a place where there will be a great transition towards a sustainable future. I would like to start, since we're with quite a few, I would like to start with people just checking in by telling their names, where they are located. If you represent an organization, we'd like to really like you to tell that, and just a few words to see what is it that appeals to you to come to this meeting. Since we are with many, I see there's already 2 pages on my screen. Let's see if we can do it just one by one as people feel it could be done. But I'll start asking Sibyl to kick off.
Hello, my name is Sibyl Chiari. I'm sitting here in the evening of Austria, so joining you from that point. And I'm with an organization. I'm with the university in Vienna, University of Applied Life Sciences. So that's my point where I come from.
Can you tell what drove you to this meeting? What was your intention?
Well, I feel a strong call to get active for the Amazon, and we are trying to set up campaigns now with NGOs and with different organizations in Austria to stand up with different people. And I'm particularly still touched by the destiny of the Kuntanaba people, so that was what brought me here today.
Thank you. Who's next? Irene?
Yeah.
Irene?
Hello.
Hello.
Irene
Hello.
here from, originally from south of Spain, currently living in Norway, soon leaving back to Spain and hopefully South America next year again. I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit organization called World Cultures United. It was created in 2015 with a first trip to Peru, Amazon jungle and different places in Peru. And per today, we have done lots of different projects with aiming for traveling for a change and art for a change and networking with culture industries and communities. And all the projects we have done are being self-sustained. So it's very nice to see that it's possible with human will and what can be possible with much more. And in my heart, it's a lot to say about the indigenous people. For me, it's the place where I belong, like many of us. And the Amazon is very, very big, and it is also containing so many different tribes, so many different, it's not countries, but people, so many different landscapes and areas and languages and wisdom. And as an artist myself, I'm a documentarist. I'm really concerned about what can we do, how each of us can use their experience and personal tools and knowledge and resources.
Okay, Irene, I have to, we are with many people, and so we have to keep it short.
Yeah.
And I just got a message in from Ira that they have to wait for the rain to pass because when there's rain, the connection is bad. But somehow they're trying to get to us.
Thank you. So next, I'm done.
Joy, please.
Hi, I'm Joy. I'm in Australia, in the forest. It's the middle of the night. And I've got a small project that's called Peace Valley Australian Bush Retreat that's very much in its beginning phases. And I feel called to support the beautiful people of the Amazon that I met at the conference in Scotland, and my friends. And also, I've been called on an even deeper, more mystical way. I was just really briefly, I was in the Amazon many years ago in my youth. And right now I've had this dream about following a snake. And it's interesting because they're snake people, and the people I was just meeting in Australia are also snake people. And I'm supposed to be doing something with a meditation seat, which is an energetic thing, combining the people of America with Australia, with Tibet. And it's all linked at a dream level. So I'm here for that reason.
Wonderful.
And love. And love.
Matthew, please can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew, or Matt. I am here. I'm a journalist. I work for Reuters, although I'm not here to be a journalist right now, although that may be helpful at some point down the road. I'm here because I'm very concerned about the Amazon, and I had the privilege of meeting Hyra and Haru at the Climate Change and Consciousness Conference, and many of you others as well. And I've also just been with Jamie and some others on this call at the Verdant World meeting in California. So I'm really hoping that these gatherings will open up opportunities for me to be of service to the work that many of you are doing, whether it's through my communications or networking skills, or in a more formal way by writing about this for Reuters or somebody else. But yes, I'm very privileged to be part of this gathering. So thank you all.
You, Jennifer, please.
Hello all. I will be brief. I have set my alarm daily to 11:11, as many of us have, in support of the immense forests in Amazonia and rivers. And I love this community. I want it to find its legs in terms of a sustainable, tree trunk kind of sustainable way, so that we can continue to meet until Oslo in 2021. So, and I'm very grateful to you all. It's funny, as you were speaking, Joy, I was getting a text from the people who are delivering honey to us. We keep beehives on our land, and we host. So the keepers are coming to deliver, because they've taken away the hives. Anyway, to deliver the honey that we've nurtured, being 7 acres of wild lands here in Maine. So anyway, I just find it so wonderful that it starts close in. It starts right here, right now, in our little local area, what we can do, and also about reaching out to the broader global community. So thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Georg, please.
Yeah, hello from the very far north, from Tromsø, where days are becoming shorter and shorter, and the first snow has fallen, and we've had frost for 10 days or so. So my garden is frozen down already. Yeah, I'm, as many of you perhaps know, I was at Findhorn on the conference, and I got this walking the land thing in my lap, and I'm still working on this, trying to follow up, which at times is very challenging. Besides that, I'm atmospheric physicist, and I've been for 35 years. And right now, and when I saw all the forest fires, not only in the Amazon, but also in the Congo and in Siberia, I thought we're really at a very critical point right now. And in fact, it's the point where we either fail or we succeed if we turn around that thing. And the forests and the agricultural land are the only way for us to avoid a major catastrophe. If we do it right, we can avoid it. If we don't do it right, we will fail. And it will be very serious for us all over the globe. So for this reason, starting something in the Amazon is so important. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Georg.
Those of you who are not muted, could you please mute, because we are getting a lot of background noise. Thank you so much.
Dave, hello. Wonderful that you're here.
Sure. Thanks. Glad to be here too. What draws me here today is the driving intent to live and act all the values and love that we experienced together at Findhorn in Northern Scotland in April, and to do that in particular places and with particular people, to go beyond the general intent to actually making a difference in the lives of humans and other living beings around the world. So I'm excited to be part of this, and I'm particularly interested in how we collectively as humans can manifest collaboration at a new level of intensity and speed. So that's, I'm often drawn to electronic, digital ways to do that, but having these Zoom calls is also exciting because it lets us see each other and hear each other and build trusting relations. So I'm hoping that this can be the start of something to support all the living beings in the Amazon rainforest. I'm so glad to be here.
Wonderful, thank you. Dear Connie, can you say hello to everybody?
I am here because of you, and you've ignited in me such an awareness about, a higher awareness about how we might not just throw up our hands and say, oh my gosh, you know, it seems overwhelming, but the power of one person with a vision. And so I'm very thankful to be here with you and to see the other faces as well.
Thank you for your lovely words. Deborah, please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Deborah. I am in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I co-founded a nonprofit called Perception back in 2000, and our projects are Voices for Biodiversity, which is my friend Tara's project, and I volunteer write for that quite a bit. I wrote about the Arctic, about Alaska this summer, and then my project is Global Diversity Film Project. And I'm also a climate change fiction author and working with a climate healing meditation, which I had sent to Stephanie, which is available for people. Because I do believe that, you know, with my background in energy healing for the past, 30 some years, that consciousness does make a difference. And consciousness with heart, with action, is really going to make a difference. I was able to lead a climate healing meditation for the Healing Beyond Borders conference, which is Healing Touch, which is an international conference for about 300 people last year. And I'm here on this call partly because Rob reminded me, and I thought I was already drawn to it because I'd heard from Stephanie, and I thought, yeah, the Amazon, although I've never been in this lifetime, it is the lungs of the earth. It's so crucial. It is so much our hearts, and it's all interconnected. So thank you.
Thank you. Dear Jamie, so strongly connected to the Amazon.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamie. I live in Durango, Colorado. First, thank you, Stephanie, for bringing me into the meditation, and thank you everyone for your thoughts and prayers. I was diagnosed last week for the second time with breast cancer in less than 2 years, and no doubt part of it is the grief that I feel about what's happening in Amazonia, what's happening in the world. I was the one who didn't give up on inviting Haru and Haida to the Climate Change and Consciousness Conference until they said yes, and I didn't know why I was doing it. They've joined us, if you guys can see them. Oi, Haru. So after the conference, they asked me to be a representative for them here in the States, so we're getting lots of things going for them. Thank you everyone for your support.
Thank you for being here. Philippe. Philippe, are you there? I think the connection froze. We go to Imogen, please. Imogen, can you introduce yourself? Thank you.
That's it. I don't know how to use all this stuff. Yeah, I'm Imogen from Northwest Ireland, and I feel a bit out of my depth here in some ways, listening to all the wonderful things you're doing. I very much work with, I'm a psychotherapist, so I work with individuals, mostly in some groups, but my real heart, why I'm showing up, is that I have planted my own birch. I feel very emotional actually, my own birch woodland. It's only small, and I pray every day for the Amazon, particularly because of my connection with the trees.
Wonderful. Your connection is a little slow.
I feel I'm birch man. That's okay. That's because I'm living in Sligo, the northwest of Ireland, and it's all slow here. Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm just, my connection is with the and I will do all I can to pray for whatever is needed by the indigenous peoples, by all beings on the planet, really.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Brianna,
hey,
can
Rob,
you...
Sorry, Rob, and excuse me, Brianna. To keep track of time, it would be very useful if we all spent less than a minute introducing ourselves and saying hello. There's so many of us, which is amazing, and I'm feeling all this joy for it. But to get to, the reasons that we're all here and really connect with this material,
Okay.
I needed watch time. So thank you all.
Wonderful. So Brianna, you've heard it. A very short introduction. Thank you.
Yes, gladly. I'll be brief. So I'm Brianna Ruland. I'm calling from Switzerland right now, and I'm from California, and I'm drawn to this work. I've been working a bit and playing a bit with Stephanie and Naomi and Felipe and Ben Roberts and multiple different kind of digital communities all around the same purpose of adaptation. And I think that Rob, your this project and everyone's project here is a key part of that process. And so I'm here to serve and be a part of it, however makes sense. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Ben, can you introduce yourself, although I don't think there's a few people who wouldn't know you.
I don't know everyone here. Ben Roberts, I'm in Newtown, Connecticut. I'm here because Rob invited me and because the work that you all are doing is exactly the kind of thing I want to help support through what I do as a convener virtually and in person of people and networks and organizations working for systemic transformation or for adapting to the transformation that's coming. And now what the engagement that's running now through November 22nd is something I'm the lead convener and host for. And you're all invited if you're not there already.
Wonderful, thank you. Heather, can you please unmute and say hello?
Hello, I'm Heather Tischbein. I'm in the southwest corner of the state of Washington. And I'm here because this is where my life has brought me. But I'm here for these people. These are my two grandsons. And I'm here in service of them, and I think this project in the Amazon, I'm feeling called to help with that on behalf of them and their children yet to be born.
Thank you. Tamily, hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Hello. I have been called here. Number one, I was able to spend time with Jamie, Matt, and others during a recent Verdant World Council gathering. And there was just so much that emerged in regards to the divine feminine, to our Mother Earth, and the need to deeply connect as a remembering. And although I work for the U.S. Forest Service in Washington, D.C., where I'm located now, I will be leaving in December and moving out into this world of really deeply engaging people with deeper connections to the land, to the more than human world through forest therapy or forest bathing. And I'm very honored and thrilled that Jamie will be joining in a training next week in Puerto Rico to dive deep into that practice that I really truly believe will take people back to the land and back to that connection with the mother, the divine feminine. And that will help us to transform and move forward in this shift in consciousness. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here on this call with you all.
Thank you. Wonderful. Dear Jenny, can you please say hello to everybody?
Yes, hello. I'm Jenny and I'm in England. I'm near St Albans, which is about 30 miles north of London. I'm an A-level biology teacher and I take groups out in the woods and I identify plants, and I've been running ecology field courses to see the interconnectedness of everything and to share it with others. And my heart bleeds for the Amazon.
Thank you. Inge Mette, you just came in as a... Can you give a short introduction to everybody?
Thank you, Rob. I'm Inge Mette. I'm in Norway. I'm drawn here for a calling to serve. I'm curious. Invited by Felipe and was part of the Cobra Canoa beyond us, and I'm part of the Know What. So I'm very much in the calling of Know What can we do? I'm late. I was on a call from with Zimbabwe, the sub-Sahara Africa, which is also a dry zone of the planet. So I'm here on the north-south axis of the planet, I would say.
Thank you. Philippe, are you there? You're in
Yes,
and out of your connections. Can you say say a short hello to everybody?
Hi, I'm Philip. Nice to meet everybody. I really appreciate what I'm hearing. I'm sorry that I couldn't hear everything. I really appreciate who is here. It's a lot of people, a lot of concerns, a lot of talents and potential, and I'm really looking forward. I really want to listen. I think this is my intention for today, to listen and to understand more, because maybe also what I want to bring our attention to, there is an issue with water around here in Brazil now. In Bahia, there was the oil catastrophe where nobody knows where it's coming from. We had the Rio Doce, where a lot of water was contaminated. We have Belo Horizonte, which is also like in the Amazon. So we thought we should really think how we are also closing our water or the veins of Mother Earth, and how this is important. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me see, Michelle, please. We're almost have introduced everybody, and then we can go to the next step. You're on mute. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. Hello. Good to see many of you at CCC 19, and am feeling the grief, as many of you, of what's the devastation of the Amazon and the disconnection from Earth and all that's wrought and continues. last weekend, I was fortunate to attend an Indigenous gathering, a long weekend retreat, and the 900-year-old Potawatomi fire was brought, the peace fire. It was in the 1970s, it was brought back from Kansas, where they had been, marched by the early people of this before it was the United States. And it was brought back to Michigan, near Lake Michigan, where it had begun. So I was gathered in talking circles and ceremony. It was a great blessing. Many woodlands tribes represented. And we were given, as rainbow warriors, coals from this fire that hold the intention of everyone who's ever gathered at this fire. And this is to be carried, and this light of love and clear intention, connection for Earth, as it spreads through Earth, as this will be planted anew somewhere else when it tells me where. I'm carrying this, and this kind of fire that will spread, that we may have this kind of wildfire to meet the ones that are causing such devastation.
Thank you.
Intending
That's
that with
wonderful,
you.
wonderful to bring that. Ellie, you have been in the car so long already. Say hello to everybody, please.
I'm still in the car. I'm Ellie O'Keefe from Cape Cod, which is in the northeast of the United States and state of Massachusetts. I'm a member of many Earth-loving organizations, but when I saw CCC, it just resonated with me because I believe that consciousness is the only way that we're gonna really be able to do anything, is through our own souls and consciousness, and the oneness of us all reconnecting with nature again and ourselves. That's what I'm drawn to here. And just having a direct link to the Amazon today to all be able to see and feel again that space in our hearts and visualize it with people that are living there. I'm really excited to be on the call, and I just want to thank everybody for being here too. So love out, love to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We have somebody under a phone number from England. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, my name is Alicia, and I joined just to find out. I got the notice of this meeting through Three Sisters. So I'm a Three Sister, and I just wanted to know, because I'm originally from Argentina, although I live in England.
Wonderful.
And it was wonderful to hear all the things that are happening. It's just fantastic. Unfortunately, in about 10 minutes, I have to go into a meeting myself, so I'm going to hang up. But it's just been fantastic to hear what people are doing. It's just so encouraging. And I want to support this project as well.
Thank you. Can you write your email in the chat box so that we can reach you later? Thank you.
I don't know how to do that in the phone because I'm in a call.
Okay,
oh, yeah, I'm in a call.
We'll see about it, but somehow we'll connect to you.
Okay, I can spell it for you if you want now.
No, we'll do that later because it's
okay.
We really have to go on, but we'll manage somehow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess that leaves the team. Ash?
Hello. For those of you that have not met me, I'm Ash, and I'm working with Stephanie and also with Rob in this call to help support the continuity of this community and to join in Oslo in 2021. And I live in Montana in the United States. And I really have been feeling very deeply the lack of separation between my own health and the health of the world, and showing up very differently for me in very big waves of grief. And that from that grief is coming a lot of energy and a lot of direct love to bring to this. So I look forward to sharing it with you all.
Thank you.
I don't believe that Ingrid Good has spoken from Berkeley, and I saw Zach Street, but he now
yeah,
seems
Zach, but he's gone again. I
yeah,
think.
now he's gone. But I'd like to hear from Ingrid.
Okay, Ingrid. Yes, sorry, Ingrid.
Oh, yes. I was not at the CCC conference, but I've been in an online class with Pachamama Alliance with Stephanie Mines. Are you having trouble hearing me?
It's a little, a little louder would be nice.
Okay. And I was very fortunate to be in a small group with her, and she invited me to this group. So I'm exploring what you're about. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to actually connect with people in the Amazon, as it's such an important issue right now. Yeah, so thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. Zach, are you around? I can't see you. You were there.
Oh, I'm here now. Can you hear me?
Ah, yes, there you are.
Yes.
Okay, hi.
Aloha, everyone. Zach Street. I'm here in Hilo, Hawaii, the big island of Hawaii. I'm here because I love the earth, I love the Amazon, and I love people like Rob and Haru and Arya who are doing so much good work to protect and restore and enliven the earth. And I guess I just believe that those relationships are the key to the only viable future. So I want to be here to learn and support that any way I can. So thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful to see you. Let me introduce myself, and then Stephanie can round it off as the leader of the pack. My name is Rob. I'll just tell you about this particular thing about my life. I'm in Brazil right now. When I was in Windhoorn, after the talk of Charles Eisenstein that night, I got a vision about the possibility of getting all the stakeholders together for a sustainable future for the Amazon and how we can turn it around. And also how this turning around could mean the beginning of showing how we can live sustainably together and in sync with nature. So, and from that point on, I've been starting to walk this walk. That's it. Thank you. Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. I am here in, I don't know if you can see the gorgeous emergent forest, these trees that surround and protect me in Oregon. And I am the vision holder for climate change and consciousness. And I am fueling the generous emergence of Climate Change and Consciousness Norway 2021. I have received the guidance to sustain this community, to nourish it, and also to allow it to find its active expression, which is really the purpose of this call. Dave and I, Connie, Rob, many others have linked the resources that we have to keep alive the 10 principles of climate change and consciousness, and particularly our bond to walking the land, which was one of the key takeaways from CCC 19, our generous commitment to the indigenous projects that were expressed at CCC 19. We cannot abandon them. We must continue to nourish them. And it is my joy to create this space and to feel the vibration of this group as CCC 19 now expands to bring in all those in the world who want to join us, knowing that climate change and consciousness coming from within, from an individual passion coming from the heart. Passion is all I have, folks. It fuels everything that I do, and it makes everything happen, and I follow it whether it gives me success or disappointment. So that is the bond I share with you and the spirit I want to infuse into you in this time of the grandmothers. Yes, Heather, we do this for our children. We want to shift now into the action purpose of this call.
Yes. Well, Stephanie?
I'm just wondering about Haru and Haida introducing themselves.
As well as Naomi and Lisa.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I can't see Hira on this call.
Are they around by now?
They're here, yeah.
Where?
There's 2 pages.
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, hi. You're around. Wonderful.
I'm sorry, I still can't see you. Let's see.
Hello, Ira. Hi. You are there.
Tudo bem, irmãos?
Wonderful.
Estou um pouco impressionado, bastante gente. Tá tudo bem com vocês, irmãos?
He's impressed many people and he says hello to everybody.
Saudação daqui da floresta para todo mundo da Amazônia, né? Muita luz, muita inspiração para esse momento que a gente está vivendo no planeta. Estou muito feliz de estar conectado com todos vocês.
The greetings from the forest, where a lot of things are happening right now, and he's happy to be here, and he greets all of us.
Yeah.
Haru, você tem você tem uma mensagem especial para esse encontro, para o objetivo desse encontro? Do you have a special message for the goal of this meeting?
Yes. Só dizer que nós precisamos, né, unir o mundo para esse objetivo, né, de proteger a Amazônia e de proteger o planeta.
To protect the Amazon and to protect the planet.
Então, isso depende de todo mundo estar junto, porque o que acontece na Amazônia tem refletido em todo o resto do mundo.
And it depends on if we can all get everybody together to get through this, because what happens in the Amazon is basically what is happening in the whole world.
Então, o que tem na Amazônia de conhecimento, de potencial para ajudar a Terra é muito grande e está nos povos tradicionais. E agora nós precisamos levar isso ao mundo de uma maneira mais clara e mais transparente.
And the potential of the Amazon forest is much larger than everybody realizes, and the indigenous people know how to bring that to the world, and this with much more clarity than they have up till now.
E o que está acontecendo agora com a Amazônia é uma tentativa de destruição muito grande por parte das companhias, do governo, e a gente precisa estar todo mundo unidos para evitar que isso aconteça.
Okay, what is happening right now is a large destruction from companies and the government, and we need to unite to stop this destruction.
Então a minha mensagem para essa conferência é que a gente possa se juntar e permitir que a Amazônia continue viva, que os povos continuem com seus costumes, com as suas tradições, e possa expandir isso para o mundo.
My message to this conference is that we hope to keep the forest alive, to keep the traditions of the peoples of the forest intact going forward, and that we can bring the traditions of the peoples, the indigenous peoples, to the world, to the whole world.
Então a gente precisa se unir os nossos pensamentos, porque todas as pessoas têm um conhecimento e a gente precisa agora unificar para buscar uma alternativa para a humanidade, não somente para a Amazônia ou para qualquer outro lugar do mundo, mas para toda a Terra.
We all have to unite because we all have our gifts of knowledge and wisdom, which together will be needed to create a new world, another world, not just in the Amazon, but for the whole planet.
E falar para todo mundo que a gente está aqui na Amazônia pronto para compartilhar com tudo isso que a gente está vivendo de uma maneira positiva.
Okay, what we here have in the Amazon, we are ready to share with the world in a positive manner.
Esse encontro que estamos pensando para ano que vem, em setembro, eu creio que vai ser um momento muito importante para clarificar as alternativas que nós temos para o mundo.
the conference that will happen next year, actually in August, he says is a very important moment where all the people will come together to show the world that there is a positive alternative, a sustainable alternative possible.
Yes. E nós estamos aqui com um movimento muito forte para não permitir que os grandes interesses de destruição da Amazônia seja maior que a gente. Mas para isso a gente precisa da aliança de cada um de vocês.
And we are here, and we're very strong to protect the Amazon from being destroyed, but we need an alliance with everybody for it not to happen, this destruction.
Essa é a minha mensagem. Thank you, Robbie, for open this space. E todo people, thank you. I'm sorry, my English is small.
It's wonderful.
I love
Thank
this.
you. It's so wonderful
Thank
to
you.
see you. And Haira, would you like to add something to this wonderful message?
Yes, thank you guys for being here with us. We truly feel supported by you, that we're not alone in our mission, our focus to help the forest and help the planet. So I'm just really grateful from the bottom of my heart. And I understand that people are feeling lots of different emotions, but we should channel that appropriately into focus, into action. That's important. And that's my message. Shada shada.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Will you stay with us to listen to the conversations? Do you have enough internet bandwidth? It would be wonderful to have you around, and at any moment, please.
We'll be in and out. We have about 30 people that are doing a lot of work on our land, and we're coordinating while we're doing this. So we can't say yes fully, but we will as much as we can.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being
I
here.
wonder if you can just show everyone the forest behind you a little bit so people can see the Amazon, since that's the focus of the call.
Yeah, absolutely. Essa floresta ainda está viva. Tem muitas diversidade.
Wow.
Lovely, wonderful.
It just got done raining here, and so everything's coming back.
Yes. Obrigado, Robbie. Saudações a Stephanie, Jamie, todas as pessoas. Thank you very much.
Obrigado, irmão. Obrigado, irmã.
Shada shada.
Shara, shara.
Shara. Bye.
So that was wonderful. So with all the difficulty of getting an internet connection, it actually worked. It's wonderful to see both of them.
That was glorious, and I believe we have not heard from Naomi as well. Thank you, Naomi.
Naomi, yes, she was there, but she's still there, Naomi.
I must be hiding on the second page or something.
I'm so sorry. So sorry. Yeah.
No, I don't need to introduce myself. I thought I could give us all, donate my minute that we could actually absorb some of what we've heard. People can Google my name if they're curious. But if we want a bit of pause to soak it up, that would be my offering. Thank you all for coming here.
That's maybe a good idea. We have a 2-minute silence or break so that people can come back. 2 minutes, because we really we don't have that much time.
Well, I would like to suggest for those that may not need a bio break, certainly if you need a bio break, please take it. But I would like to suggest that we all really take in the message from Haru and Hera in the Amazon, that we take in the view of the Amazon that we were just so privileged to have, and that we absorb that into our hearts, because really the action plan that we take going forward from this beautiful, beautiful gathering has to be infused with consciousness, and finding your personal relationship to this existential crisis vis-a-vis the Amazon is inner work. It requires going deep inside yourself. So there's a huge pull. I say action and everybody thinks going out, but the first step in all action, and the necessity in unprecedented leadership is going in and focusing. Just as Joy finds her particular guidance, she's led very specifically. I am led very specifically. So to avoid being pulled in all the directions that the magnitude of this crisis pulls you into, going here and there, finding what is your focus purpose, as Rob has done, is inner work. And it requires a moment of silence. I use this palm inju, this gesture, and this physiology to assure that I do not get distracted, that I stay on course, that I realize my purpose, and I am not confused by success or failure.
Thank you. So I think slowly we should come to go to the story of the Amazon and how it will lead, how it will lead in the future. Will it be destroyed, or will it change all of us? Just from a European perspective, I'd like to say I myself traveled about 100 countries, and the climate in Brazil in most parts is still so splendid that I was amazed by it, and I live there now. But it is tapering, and it is tapering because of the way the humans are using this beautiful, enormous biotope. They've already hacked away at 95% of the coastal forests. The Amazon forest was discovered, let's say, as a place where you could do things only recently, maybe in the 70s or so, to cut down trees and to have cattle there, or grow soybeans, or to find minerals. But by now, an area twice the size of California has been cut, and the weather system that's over the Amazon is self-sustaining. It draws in moisture from the tropical parts of the Atlantic Ocean, where it rains out and rains again, circulates over the forests, keeping it green, keeping it wet, raining out over the Andes Mountains, where it forms glaciers, and then slowly goes in what they call flying rivers of atmospheric moisture to the south, to parts of Bolivia, to Ecuador, to Paraguay, to Uruguay, and to the south and southeast of Brazil. It's clear that scientists have modeled what would happen if more would be cut down, and we're closing into a tipping point. 20% is gone. If there's another 5% or so gone, then this system, this climate system, this weather system that's sustaining itself will falter. And at that point, there will be droughts, and the trees of the Amazon don't have any burn protection because they never needed it in its 35 million years of existence. And it will burn away, and it will burn away within decades. So there's a tipping point after which we can simply not save it because it will destroy itself. If that happens, not only this heart and lungs of the planet will be destroyed, and with it will be destroyed millions of people's lives in the Amazon, the biodiversity, the animals, but it will destroy the climate of the whole of South America. And while burning down, it will release another 30 to 40 parts per million of carbon dioxide into the global atmosphere, which is equal to our current emissions of about 50 to 20 years of what we're currently emitting, which means just the destruction of the Amazon forest is enough to jolt the world into catastrophic climate change. Now, let that sink in. If another 5% is cut, it's game over for the world. That's the management summary when it goes bad. It obviously can be avoided, and we are here to avoid it. And the great story is that if we avoid it and we actually grow back the forest and we start learning how to make money and a living, I would say, from the forest, which is utterly possible, it will not only increase the well-being of the people in the Amazon, it will also give a lot of gifts to humanity. We're talking about new plant discoveries, all kinds of fruits, but of course also the gifts from the indigenous people, of which we've only seen a little part of what they have in store for us. So if you look at the whole world situation in terms of climate change, you could say that even if we taper down the emissions very fast, let's say over 10, 15 years, we are already in a situation where we will probably end up with catastrophic climate change. And the only way to avoid that is to plant many trees. 1 trillion trees has been mentioned in an article of Science. And if we would bring back the forest of the Amazon to its former size, we would have to plant about 100 billion trees. That's about 10% of what needs to be done globally. And that's possible. It's possible if we bring together all the forces and all the stakeholders, not just in the Amazon, but in South America and the world, to bring this change. And this project is here, where we have 5 elements. The first one is with our wonderful friends and family of the Kuntanawa to do a pilot project of 1 million trees, and learning from that, we can replicate it many times. The second part is almost nobody in the world, a very small part of the people in this world, are aware that there is a tipping point in burning down the Amazon, and once it burns down, it basically brings us on the path of irrecoverable catastrophic climate change. So we need to get people conscious about that. And we're creating a video in 4 languages with that story, which needs to go viral. And then the next point is where we will gather in the COP25, where we need to get this story connected and gather energy and resources for the plan to turn around the situation in the Amazon, for which we need many resources, connections, and introductions. This will culminate in a conference next year in August in the Amazon, in a place called Leticia in Colombia, which is on the border of Brazil and Peru. And Haru has completely blessed this conference and said that he will bring in the indigenous leadership to do their part of that conference and make it a strong one. And we have the total cooperation of Professor Carlos Nobre, who is sort of the James Hansen of climate scientists in South America, who is completely with it and will lead on the other way, because he has a full worked out plan how to turn around the economy in sync with the forest. There's already hundreds of pilot projects going on, so we can easily sort of once we get energy and funds into that, we can easily scale it up. And we have to get resources there, because a lot of people are in a very destitute situation without money, and we have to give them jobs to turn the situation around. And that's possible. And if we want to save the world, then that is what we have to do. Roughly, we need to give a living wage to about 1 million people for roughly 10 years to turn it around, and that's possible. Then the last part of the 5-point plan is that we will launch the largest crowdfunding action ever in order to get enough money to buy millions of hectares and give it to people in the Amazon basin where they can practice agroforestry, permaculture, and with the wages that they're getting, helping to restore the forest to its former size. So that is in short the program that we are laying before you, and we ask you here to resonate with that and come with all gifts that you can think of, be it spiritually, be it practically, be it funding. All gifts are welcome. Together we will build this into a momentous thing in the history of humanity and the world, because if we can show that in this place where so much destruction is going on, we can show an alternative which gives a better well-being to the local people, which gives us connection to all this beautiful nature, which will increase the economy of the area, and which will save the climate of the world, then that is what we need to do there. We can show that it can be done everywhere, because this is also necessary in the Congo. This is also necessary in various of the islands of Indonesia and parts of the north of Australia, especially the tropical areas of the wet tropical areas of our planet are the places where we can have the fastest results to turn this situation around. I think I'll leave it with this. Thank you.
So the beauty of climate change and consciousness is fearless, visionary undertakings. And that is why the scope of Rob's project is, to me, feasible and necessary. We can do this. So we want to go into breakout groups to explore what will be our relationship to Rob's incredible vision, which incorporates the support of the Kuntanawas. So some people will be more drawn in one area than another. There's already been some commentary on that in the chat. But we want to be able, as I mentioned earlier, to go within in collaboration with our community members to flesh out what is happening for us as we find our way in this huge vision, which may seem daunting until you get down to the nitty-gritty and put one foot after the other. So Ash, can you, and Rob, can you set up the breakout groups with clarity?
So we are with how many people? I think about 30 or so?
We have 28 right now.
28. So I guess that would work out to doing 5 breakout groups, right? Yes? Yes. So it's the 5 points. It's the project of the Kuntanawas for 1 million trees along the riverside of the river Tagus that connects their village. The second one is how to get this video that's currently being produced viral. The third one is how can we get enough attention and energy around this project at the COP25. The fourth one is the conference where all the stakeholders will come together to come up with basically a plan and a new covenant for the Amazon, for a sustainable future of the Amazon and all the living beings that are there. And the last one is the crowdfunding action that at some point will start to get an enormous amount of money to get an enormous amount of land to give it back to people who want to nurture back the forest to its former glory. Okay.
Can we also clarify that the Kuntanawa component here is a reforestation component? So the cooperating with the Kuntanawa people, the entire community there to plant, is it 1 million trees?
1 million, yeah, that's the estimate, yes.
Yeah, so that is a reforestation project.
Rob and Stephanie, do we want people to opt into those groups, or should we see what comes out of the spontaneous creation of the groups?
Is it feasible to do it quickly for opt-in, or you just people can just choose? How does it work?
I think if if you have a preference that's strong, you feel called to one of these projects, please put that into the chat now, or say it verbally if you don't have access to the chat. And otherwise, I'll put people into groups, and if one of your interests really is clarified in that, just let me know and we can all stay in touch on these different 5 points. Once I have all the names assigned, I'll let you know who you're with and what topic you'll be exploring.
Okay.
I just want to mention that if you are not yet clear about which topic you want to identify with, use your group to explore your own inner experience of this call and where that points you without necessarily having to have a conclusion. And can we indicate the length of time for the breakout groups, please?
Yes, we'll have about 15, almost 20 minutes in each group.
So that, yeah, we deliberately wanted to leave a nice chunk of time for this deep exploration. So just to clarify what it is you will be exploring, it's the way in which the topic calls to you, either specifically or generally, and what you feel genuinely, authentically called to bring to the plight of the Amazon as an individual, and also with whatever organizational connections you might have. So this is any sphere of resource that brings forth your generosity in a way that feels organic to you. And you are completely welcome to explore your inner relationship to the situation in your group.
Thank you.
I should also mention that we want one person from each group to report back. The harvest from this is essential to the follow through that we will do from this call. So make sure that you can document some specifics, even if it is simply the specific nature of the process you experienced in your deep listening and communication with one another.
Thank you. Let's Ash, do you have enough to go to breakout groups?
Almost there, very close.
Wonderful.
As we wait for these assignments, and Ash, are you getting the messages in the chat?
I am.
Wonderful.
And if some people, if you're adding in your preferences late, I'll have to start the room and then put you in it. So just please be patient with this process, and thank you.
Are there any questions before we go into the breakout rooms? Great. And Ash will also indicate to you when it's time to come back into the main room. She'll give you a heads up about that.
Okay, so the group looking at the reforestation process with the Kuntanawas will include Deborah, Georg, Jamie, Havru and Harya, Matthew Green, Felipe's, Irene, and Sybil and Michelle. And so I'll move a couple of you in late to that room, but I'm going to go ahead and open the room shortly. The great conference will include Ben Roberts, Rob, Naomi, and maybe one or two more after these rooms are opened. The conversation about how to go viral with this video and really spread this message will begin with Lisa and Jennifer, and maybe a few more will join in just a moment. And then we will have two more groups, one group talking about the COP25 conference, which is critical in the Amazon next year in August. And then our last group will be exploring this massive and revolutionary crowdfunding campaign. I'm going to open these rooms for about 20 minutes. We'll have the space to discuss and brainstorm, and I invite you all to do that as we've been talking from the level of consciousness that we're here to represent, that is heart-centered and open. So I'll send you a message when the rooms are about to close as well. We will see you soon.
Hi, Connie.
Hey, good to see you.
We got into a room together. I'm not sure what our topic is, but here we are.
That's it? We're in the room together? Great.
Yeah. And we already know that you're continuing to support Rob, aren't you, in refining and developing this? And that's, so we're actually in exactly the right room. It's the Rob room. So, because I feel like that's what I do here as, you know, sort of the mother hen. I'm supporting him in, you know, moving this forward. Ash?
Yeah.
Are you?
Hello.
Hi. What is our room? What is our topic?
You have not been in one yet. Connie, where would you like to be?
I'd like to be with Rob in the conference room for the conference, the gathering.
Okay, great. I will move you there.
Bye.
Is Stephanie in that room too?
Stephanie has not been assigned a room yet because I have a couple questions for her.
I think I'm in the room with Ash.
Yeah. For some reason, Connie, I'm not sure where you are here. I can't find you.
I'm on phone because I didn't see a way to connect by the audio.
Connie, for whatever reason, you're actually not on my list to put into a room. So, Thanks for your patience. So interesting learning to navigate this virtual realm together.
Oh, make conference breakout rooms great.
Can I move you there? No, not like that.
So I'm not in the participant list?
You should be, but for whatever reason.
I see me on the participant list.
Let's see if there's another way for me to do that. I see you on the participant list. I have a different list for the breakout rooms.
Okay.
So you're not on that list. That's the concern.
Okay. Is there anything you want me to do?
Well, I'd love to be able to put you into this room, but I don't think that I can do that at this point, which is very strange. The only thing I can think of is you leaving the call and then rejoining it. Does that make sense?
I dialed in, so I'll leave the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Great, and then just either use the link or dial back in. It might be because you dialed in that I can't assign you. So if you have the option of clicking the link to join, oh, bye. Good luck, Connie. Whew, we have a giant reforestation Kuntanawas group.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems, the reforestation is very appealing to people.
It also seems like there's a lot of creative possibility in it.
Yeah, Connie is coming back in here. So that, as we're in the main room.
I did it.
Oh, great.
Connie, I can now assign you. It worked. I'm going to put you into the room for the conference with Ben and Naomi and Rob. Is that where you wanted to be?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Great.
Bye. So I'm getting an invitation to join breakout room 2. Is that for me or should that go to Connie?
Oh, no, just deny that, please.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Yay.
Good.
Ooh, that was a slightly chaotic process, but it seems that it's happened.
Yeah, excellent. Good job. Yeah, we have a much larger group than we ever thought we were going to have. I mean, only last time I checked, 9 people had said they were going to join. So what's going to be tricky here is harvesting. So when people report back, let's see, if they're going to come back in 20 minutes.
That's going to be just before 1:40.
So we will have only 20 minutes left.
Right.
For the harvest. And so we're going to want to hear the reports back. But what we also want.
Hello, Inga Meta.
Hi.
Hi. Can you send me to another workshop or another group?
Yes. What group would you like to be sent to?
The reforestation group is very full. So I would recommend one of the others.
The funding group or the viral?
The video or the crowdfunding. Okay.
Crowdfunding, maybe?
Okay, great. Great.
I'm going to put you into the room. I believe that's what they're talking about in this room, but just check when you get there. They may have changed, changed topics. Okay. Move to, okay.
Hi,
we'll see you soon.
Great to see you. I will see you again.
Yes.
I've been talking to Oyvind about you. You'll hear about the next meeting. It's coming soon.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Did you get an invitation to join the other room?
No. Yes.
Well, in my list, it now says that you should be invited to join breakout room 5.
We're getting in a... Hi.
I'm sorry to disrupt you or to...
Sorry, I just interrupted your conversation, I think.
Oh, no, we're trying to get Inger Meta into the group she wants to be in. And did you also want to move into another group?
I would like to be with the reforestation group if that's possible.
That group is so incredibly full. It is the largest group.
So then,
I wonder about the video group or the video group.
Video group would be nice to check.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Sybil, you should get a new invitation to join.
Thank you.
Let me know if that doesn't happen.
Well,
and Inger Mehta we need an invitation for Inger Mehta as well. I wonder how we can facilitate this.
You know, this sounds strange, but I have tried to send it 4 times. If it's not sending, is it possible for you to leave the call and then click it again and reopen the call? That way I'll be able to put you in a group.
I can leave.
Okay, and then if you just come right back, I'll be able to move you.
We'll try. Let me see.
Here we go. And you may, if it's possible, you may need to do that too.
So you leave the call and then come right back on.
Okay.
So Stephanie, there are only 4 groups. So I'm going to assign Inger Mehta. Where did Inger Mehta want to go?
The video, or the crowdfunding. And then Sybil wanted to be in the video group.
Great. All right. So we only have 4 groups. I think each group will have 3 minutes to share their harvest. It's 12 minutes, and then we can spend 8 minutes closing and
Great. Yeah. So you got Sybil and Inger Mehta in there.
Sybil hasn't come back yet, but Inger Mehta is now in her group.
Okay. Yay. Great. What I'm concerned about mostly is documenting the harvest. In other words, what is the methodology that we will use?
You must really be liking their groups. No one's coming back early.
It's awesome. Very productive call.
They have 2 seconds, however.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I nominate Liza as our speaker.
Okay. Well, welcome back, everyone. So apologies if you just got spontaneously kicked out of your room and brought back here. If you're not speaking, now would be a good time to remute so we don't have the interference. So in order to respect everyone's time, I want to frame the shares of our groups a little bit and just let people know if you elected a spokesperson, that spokesperson is welcome to step forward in just a moment. And if you didn't, feel free to nominate yourself as the spokesperson. So in this conversation, you know, if that time didn't feel sufficient or enough to tease apart everything you were talking about or come up with a plan, that's okay. This is the beginning of this very exciting and important project. And this is the beginning of this conversation. So there will be follow-up calls and we will capture everything we can from your conversations and then continue to share those going forward. Additionally, you know, we're an expanding community, so we don't have everyone's information to provide the follow-up information to. So as we're doing the sharing for our groups, please add your emails into the chat if you can, so we can make sure to keep you updated. Staying updated doesn't mean that you have joined a task force to work on this project, though that generosity is so welcome in this. And So each group will have just about 2 minutes to give us a quick harvest. And you're also welcome, and we really actually invite you to put your action items and what you discussed into the chat, which I'll save and look through later. But for now, if you just want to share, each spokesperson, a 1 to 2 minute, what really came out of your time together, if you have action items, what they are, and not so much of a play-by-play summary of your conversation. So would the reforestation group like to begin that?
Jamie, would you like to summarize, since you did a great interpreting job?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to actually remember what I'm saying because I'm just trying to translate. I don't have time to process, but I explained a little of the history of the Kuntanawa tribe and where they live in the Amazon, and Hadu and Haida were able to join us, and Hadu was sharing with us the importance of finding alternatives for the people who are destroying the Amazon. And so what he was really sharing is there's a lot of monocultural crops there. So how can we bring in other things like more acai or other sustainable products to give them an alternative to monocultures and destroying. So his big ask is looking for partnerships. We're starting to have conversation with Trees for the Future, who does agroforestry. They offer some really amazing alternatives that I think could go really well in the Amazon. So that's kind of apart from just the reforestation piece, because there's also food security. A lot of people there go hungry. It's a really big issue there. And also environmental education for people who live there, especially the non-Indigenous people who live in the Amazon who don't have the relationship to nature that the Indigenous people do.
So Hira and Haru, can you tell us very specifically what you need from us? What can we, out of the generosity and abundance that we have, what can we bring to you very specifically?
Yes. I was kind of translating to him. So necessito falar muito específico.
Yes. Para mim, esse tempo agora é um tempo que a gente precisa recuperar a memória dos povos da floresta e dar a eles dignidade, né, que eles possam reencontrar com a sua ancestralidade e, ao mesmo tempo, levar esse conhecimento através de ações concretas, como, por exemplo, produzir medicinas, integrar isso ao mundo, trazer a espiritualidade como base.
Do you want me to translate that? So for me, what needs to happen is recovering the memory of the Indigenous people, the memory that has been lost and that's been taken away from them, and giving them back their dignity. So through spirituality, through producing medicine for them. A pergunta é também, desde esta comunidade aqui, das pessoas que estão aqui, que é que as pessoas podem dar ou oferecer para vocês?
Então, o que nós precisamos agora é construir ferramentas que nós possamos disponibilizar os nossos potenciais, o que a Amazônia tem, o que a Amazônia produz, o conhecimento dos povos da floresta. Então, a gente precisa construir, por exemplo, estamos querendo construir agora um centro de saúde e medicina para compartilhar com o mundo do nosso conhecimento.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we want to do now is to build a healing center to strengthen our traditional knowledge of using medicine that we can share.
Ao mesmo tempo também implantar as novas tecnologias através de geração de energia limpa para a produção de alimentos, para que os povos da floresta possam produzir seus próprios alimentos e tirar o industrial que está vindo para dentro da floresta.
And we also want to use these new technologies, and we want to build partnerships with people who can help us to use these new technologies to grow food and to become independent of the industrialized society, industrialized industries that have been implanted in our people.
Então são coisas simples que vai fazer a diferença. A implantação do sistema de água limpa, de tratamento de águas para as comunidades, porque as águas dos nossos rios aqui elas estão contaminadas. Então a gente precisa fazer esse processo todo. 80% dos problemas de saúde são devido às águas.
And one of our big needs is clean water, and we need help implanting a system to have clean water for our people. 80% of our sicknesses could be solved with clean water.
Yes.
Gracias todos.
Want to add anything to that, Haida?
Yeah, there's so much to do. Basically, it comes from all different ways. And one is empowering the people and getting them out of the consciousness mentality of poverty. So creating jobs, and by doing that, that means we're going to build a healing center because we don't have a hospital out here, a natural hospital. So creating jobs in that aspect, growing the crops, growing the medicines, bringing in international support people to come here, to come heal. So that's one layer. The other layer is quality of life. So that's clean water, food, things like that. There's the educational piece, bringing people here to be educated about the forest, but also providing jobs. So having the community be professors and teach about things. Planting, there's just so many layers, so many things that we have to do. It's really hard to say in just a few words.
Yes, well, we are harvesting all of this, and as Ash indicated, there's going to be follow through, but I wanted people to have the flavor of the scope of needs that you have there, that reforestation is a big part of, but not the singular focus. So thank you very much. And everyone who's putting information in the chat, please know that we are harvesting all of that. So let's hear from one or two other groups, please. Thank you so much.
So the video viral group is there?
Can someone report from the video group, please?
I can report. This is Liza, and I commandeered the meeting just a little bit. My thoughts were to create a working group to organize networks and do outreach, create an online Google Doc to share artwork that perhaps an artist may create an image that can represent what we are trying to share, and that can be duplicated, do outreach to current active movements like the Green New Deal, Sunrise Movement, Fridays for Future, and obviously many of the groups that we're already aware of or know of, like Pachamama and others through the current network. And then form the working group would then coordinate times, dates, and the content to be shared, and figure out a way to notify all participants to help make it go viral.
Thank you. Wonderful. And put all of that, please, Liza, into the chat. We also will make available to you an email contact. If accessing the chat is not easy, you can send those documentations and any questions you have to the Tara Approach email, and we will follow through with everyone. Can we hear from the crowdfunding group? I know Ingrid Metter was in that group, and I believe she has a brilliant idea from it.
Yes, she sure did. Ingrid, did you want to share, or did you want to share, and then I have some overview as well?
Please, you take the ball. Share it.
Okay. All right. So yes, Ingrid came up with this amazing idea of soccer being this worldwide phenomenon, and again, just those the power of the sports world and bringing an opportunity to crowdfund around like the sale of soccer balls, because all communities, like, you know, even underserved communities, they're out there. Everybody's got at least a ball for their community. And whenever you purchase the ball, then you would also purchase either a tree or several trees in a way to kind of crowdfund around that. And pushing, you know, again, that envelope of reforestation and bringing that attention at this worldwide level. I'll also mention that Tree Sisters has been brought up numerous times. Claire, who is executive director, was at the Verdant World meeting. Jamie did mention that in the chat. And so there are some potential opportunities there. Claire is very, very aware of this particular effort. And so pushing them up to the top of the list as well of outreach. And then Prishani, I apologize, I don't recall Prishani's name right now, but she came to us from South Africa at the Verdant World Gathering. And her primary gift that she brought was her involvement in the Pope's encyclical and a major event that will be held at the Vatican in, I believe it's 2020, maybe 2021. And this is going to be tremendous. And she did mention her dedication to funding various projects. So I think if we were to uplift this, I know Matt has been working with her, connected to her, Jamie as well. And so I think if we brought this to Prishani as, you know, maybe one of the various projects that could be funded. We also talked about networks. And, you know, I'll kind of come back to some of the pieces that were brought to us from Haru and from Jamie about the reforestation piece. And, you know, Haru did say that it's really important that the people of the land recover their memory and of the indigenous knowledge and the connection, because people are losing that because of, you know, integrating other cultures into their own culture. And it's really important to reconnect with the spirituality and connection that they need to move this forward. And so I would link that back to the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy that trains guides around the world. There's a network of over 800 guides worldwide. And I feel like this is a way that they have such connections with the people that they take out onto the land, that they bring to that interconnectivity between people and the more humans in the more than human world. And I really feel like this could be a great crowdfunding resource through this particular network, but then many other partner networks.
Thank you so much. And I want to add that I am building a collaboration with Pachamama Alliance. And I also want to add that I do have a connection with the network around the Pope's encyclical. I have someone knocking at my door, so I'm going to.
Wonderful.
Great. Thank you, Deborah.
Who wants to report from the conference group, or the gathering group rather?
You.
Okay. There were several things that were discussed around the Great Gathering, where everything has to come together. And one of the great things that were mentioned was that new technologies like blockchain could be used to help people trade stuff that they are having outside the current money system. I used the word living wage, which was a sort of a red flag, but there is a sort of a transition needs to go from people who are now dependent on the forest by destroying it, slowly getting their independence by becoming part of the solution, learning how to do permaculture, learning how to trade fruits from the forest or any other role that they might feel. So that's a process. It's very important that the design of the gathering should be very much led by the indigenous people, because otherwise it turns out to be a Western style conference, which is definitely not going to crack it. We need a form of a database, but not the old spreadsheet ones or the MailChimp ones, but maybe the Kumu map ones that are now used in Now What, to connect people to let this sort of self-organize into it. We will need work groups for several items. For instance, a work group on how to do the economic transition, how to bring people in from the exploitative phase into the sustainable phase. We also need to, once this, very soon, we have to make this much more Brazilian, because now we have been talking here with two indigenous people in Brazil and one who lives there. But of course, in the end, it needs to be carried by them. So once we have these gifts, we have to more and more put them in the fore and say, please go with it. Haru has already expressed that he will bring the indigenous leadership of the Amazon into this effort. So that's a wonderful intention, and I'm sure you will follow through. Did I miss something? No, I guess that's it.
Nope.
Then.
That was good.
So then we have one. Did we have all now?
I believe that's all of our groups. If you don't feel that your group was represented, or if I missed you somehow, please feel free to step forward now.
I want to reiterate. Oh, did you want to speak, Brianna? No, okay. I want to reiterate the fact that we are going to follow through with this call, that we are harvesting all the details that have been abundant in the chat, and that we are going to be in contact with you. If you have not already put your email address in, please do so, because that will be critical for you to be part of the follow-through. I am ecstatic with the results of this call. I want to honor Haru and Hera and express so much gratitude to you for staying with us as long as you have. Can you translate that? Rob, please.
Aira e Haru, Stephanie queria te agradecer muito que vocês chegou e ficou com nós todo esse tempo, e ela muito gratidão. Obrigado. Eu também, claro. Ok.
Eu estou muito feliz por estar aqui, porque é algo inédito, né? A gente está fazendo essa conferência de um lugar tão distante e ter o poder das tecnologias de nos conectar. Isso é muito importante, e eu também agradeço pelo tempo de cada um de vocês.
Will you translate, Haida, or shall I do it? Up to you.
I have like I understand, but I think that you're a little bit better than I am.
I can translate what he said.
No, I'd like Rob to translate, please.
No, it's okay. Jimmy,
Okay.
go ahead.
It's fine. He said that I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very grateful for the time of each one of you for being here. And this is an incredible time that we can use technology like this to connect through this call from such a faraway place.
Thank you.
E esse é tempo de liberdade. Esse é tempo onde a gente deve reconhecer as tradições de todos os povos e dar aos povos a autonomia de serem eles mesmos, porque durante muito tempo os povos vêm sendo oprimidos, não têm a chance de ser eles mesmos, de ser nós mesmos.
And this is the time of freedom for the people to come and to be who they are. For such a long time, people were so oppressed, but this is the time for them to come forward again and be who they really are.
De reconhecer as tradições dos povos, porque as tradições é quem mantém a natureza, as florestas, os rios, os animais vivos.
and to recognize their traditions, because recognizing the traditions is what keeps the rivers and the trees and the animals alive.
Yeah, esse é a minha.
Thank you. And I want to thank
Muito
Jamie.
obrigado.
I want to thank Jamie for all her heart and love that she has put into the Amazon and into the Kuntanawas and in creating this bridge with the climate change and consciousness community. And I want to ask Jamie to rest. I want to ask Jamie, that's why I was asking Rob to translate. I know how much she loves to do this. And I also want to invite Jamie to honor the preciousness of who she is. She has been so much of service, and we love her service, but we also love her. So please rest your precious voice and build it anew, dear Jamie. And I am just ecstatic with the intelligent, resilient, creative generosity of this gathering. And I do believe this will be the theme of Climate Change and Consciousness Norway 2021. Generosity is the theme. Generosity is the antidote to our climate crisis. Thank you all for being so incredibly generous. You will hear from us. I am wanting to offer a closing so that I can bring in the ecstatic state that I'm in right now. So let us once again bring our hands so that they touch each other, and let that connection with the flesh in your hands be met by the connection in the flesh of the soles of your feet with the flesh of the mother. And let this union between us and the mother and the alignment we feel in this moment be the act of generosity and liberation that we offer this aching planet. Thank you all.
Thank you all for being here. And I'm looking forward to working with many of you. And I know,
preparing all this.
I know also from the words of Haru that what we are about to do will be important to the world. Thank you.
Let's all unmute just so that we hear our voices, and sending a kiss and saying bye for now. Hasta luego.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Haru. Aira.
Hasta luego, minha família.
Bye. Bye, Joy.
Ha det godt alle sammen.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you all.
Everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Joy. Thank you so much for getting up so early. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed.
Rob and Ash, I have to leave really quickly, so I will be in touch with both of you.
We'll be in touch, of course, again very soon. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.